Hi, I'm Amanda Greening, and this is my Things I Should Have Said video. So I went to Cranbrook, which is in Bloomfield Hills, and it's a very affluent area in Michigan. It was a private boarding school, which was predominantly Caucasian people went there, and every day last year I would go eat lunch with my good friend Chris. He's a bigger African American male who actually played football at Cranbrook at the time. And every single day we walked into the dining hall, Robert, the guy who would greet everyone at the door into the dining hall, he would call Chris Bryce. He would call Chris the wrong name every single day. Meanwhile, he's greeting everyone else by the correct name. And keep in mind, they're all white. And so, this is an example of social inequality, because this is one of many examples that happen across many nations in today's society. And many people experience racism every day because it's a particular set of practices that create this larger problem as a whole. This also is an example of social stratification because Robert is classifying Chris into a particular group of African American males, which is devaluing and dehumanizing Chris's culture because he either can't remember his name or, obviously after every day, he is purposely calling Chris the incorrect name. So even though people say that racism is non-existent in today's society anymore, the concepts of white supremacy are very present in the world today, as this is one of many examples. So people try to normalize inequality with racial apathy, and they kind of just push it to the side, kind of lack of engagement into the problem, and kind of just let it slide and don't really challenge the situation of racism in today's society. So then they also think of racism as a logic and think, racism is a thing in the past, it's not in the present moment because it just happened in the past. They also think as themselves as good people, so they think, oh, I'm a good person, so I'm not a racist person because racism is bad and I'm a good person, which is also being very ignorant to the fact that racism is very present in today's society. So, every time I would walk into the dining hall with Chris, I would kind of, bow my head and just listen to Robert, hi Bryce, who was, also another African-American male in my class last year. And kind of just bow my head, just keep walking, because I personally did not want to be the person to disrupt the norms of everyone, just swiping their cards, going to get their food. I wouldn't be like, Robert, that's not his name. And, I should have said that, but I never did. And then I also thought, I'm also not going to change what Robert believes. He's already set in his ways, he's older than me. I'm not going to change, his thoughts or beliefs on, calling Chris the wrong name necessarily. But then after reflecting on the situation, and especially after taking this class, if I were to encounter, or be in a situation where that was similar to this, I would definitely say something, because even though me saying something wouldn't change, racism in the whole world, I'm not going to change racism in the whole world. So instead, maybe I would change that one person's perception on racism and then support the person who is being dehumanized. So thank you.